In today's lesson, we're going to learn a few more tools in the Google Docs word processor. And these same kinds of things you can do in Microsoft Word as well, and the buttons look almost identical. We're going to learn how to create lists, numbered lists, as well as bulleted lists. We're going to learn how to move things around using cut and paste and copy and paste. We'll also talk a little bit about line spacing and headings. You can start creating your practice activity in Google Classroom. Open up the document that I give you. I'm going to go to Google Drive, which is how you would start a document on your own if you wanted to start your own word processing document. You go to googledrive.com, which is it's kind of like your cloud My Documents. It's Google's place for you to store files, and you can see I have a whole bunch of files in here. And I'm going to hit the new button and I'm going to create a new Google Doc. But you can just use the Google Doc that's in this assignment. We're going to title this document To-Do List. And we're just going to create a simple to-do list. So I'm going to just title this To-Do List. And I can create my list first and then turn on my list formatting, or I can choose my list formatting first. And the list formatting is over here in this area. You can see there's some lines with the numbered 1, 2, 3, and if I hover over it, you can see that that's a numbered list. And right next to it is a bulleted list. And each of them have a little drop-down menu, and if you click on the drop-down menu, you can see there's different styles of lists. There's round bullets, there's arrows, there's squares and diamonds. And in numbers, you can see there's different ways of numbering. You can use regular numbers, you can use numbers and letters, however you would like to style it. Let's start with a bulleted list. So I'm going to click on bulleted list. And here are some things that I need to do. Going to feed the dog, and then when I press enter, it gives me another bullet. Oh, look, I'm working from home, and if I press enter, it will again give me another bullet. If I decide I'm done with the list and want to stop the bullets, if I hit enter again, then it will turn the bullets off automatically. And then if I need to go and add something else to the list, I can click back up next to my last bulleted item and hit enter, and it will give me another bullet. I have to go to the grocery store to pick up a prescription, help my kids with their homework, and pick a restaurant for takeout. Now, with a bulleted list, they're just a list of to-do items with no particular order, but maybe I want to number them so I can prioritize them, which things need to go first. So I'm going to select my whole list and I'm going to change it to a numbered list. So I'm going to click and drag, starting from the beginning of the F. Again, when you're selecting, you go from the beginning to the end. And don't worry about the bullets. You can't physically select the bullets, so they won't look like they're selected, but they're part of the formatting that goes along with this text. So I've selected all of the text that's in my list, and then I'm just going to choose numbered list, and then it's going to switch it to a numbered list. So now it's numbered in order 1 through 6. And you could toggle back and forth. I could choose bullets again or numbers, but I'm going to leave it at numbers. Now, I might want to change some other formatting on this. Maybe I want to make the font larger. So I can choose a font size. So your lists work just the same way as any other text. You can change any of the formatting, fonts, bold, italic, and underline. You can change the color, whatever you want. Those will all work. But I'm just going to make the text a little bit bigger. And then I'd like a little bit more space in between each item. So I'm going to change the line spacing, which is this button right here, right next to the list button. It has kind of an arrow pointing up and an arrow pointing down. And you can see right now it's set at 1.15 spacing. So it's a little bit bigger than single spacing. So if I chose single, you could see they're snugged up right against each other. But maybe I want a little more space in between. So there's 1.5 spacing I could choose, or double spacing is really far apart, but I think I'm going to choose 1.5 spacing. That just gives me a little extra room between each line, and it does that for me. I don't have to add extra enters or anything like that. It just takes care of that line spacing for me. And for my little heading up here, the to-do list, I can choose, there's right next to the font, there's a heading styles area. So this right now is set at normal text, but you can see there's different types of preset headings. So headings of different levels. So your first level of headings, you might have level 1. Your second level of headings, you might have level 2, and so on. So I'm going to pick a heading 1 because this is my first and only heading of this. And it's kind of nice because it automatically makes it larger and a little bit darker. All right, so I have my to-do list and I have my items, but I've decided that there's some things, they're not in the right order. I need to pick up my prescription first thing in the morning, so I need to move that up in the list. Instead of having to delete something and type it in again, I can move things around by using a technique called cut and paste. And I have a handout that you'll get in the Google Classroom assignment that talks about how you move text with cut, copy, and paste. The screenshots of where the buttons are from Microsoft Word. In Google Docs, they're actually under the edit menu. So there's cut, there's copy, and there's paste. But the icons are the same. The scissors for cut, a couple pieces of paper for copy, and a little clipboard for paste. So those are located under the edit menu in Google Docs. But the procedure is the same. You first click and drag in the document to highlight or select your text. So you have to tell the computer what text you want to move. Then you click cut if you want to take the text out of the original location, or you click copy if you want to duplicate that text and put it in another location. Then the last step is you click in the document at the location where you want to move the text, and then you click paste. So let me show you how that works, that 3-step process. So I already said I want to move pick up prescription, and I want that to be after feed the dog but before work from home. So I'm going to select my text. So I'm going to click and drag to select that whole line. Remember, the numbers and the bullets, they can't be selected. They're part of the formatting, so don't worry about that. Then I'll go to the edit menu and I want to move this, so I'm going to click cut. And you can see it disappears, and now I only have 5 items on my list. It's not gone, it's held in a special area of memory called the clipboard, and it's waiting for me to paste it somewhere else. And I want it to be the second item on my list. So I'm going to click right at the beginning of where my second item on the list should be, so before the W in work from home. Then I'll go to the edit menu and I'll choose paste. And it takes that pickup prescription and it pastes it in that spot and kind of pushes everything else down. So now work from home is item 3. So let's say that right after I pick up my prescription, I'm going to go to the grocery store. So I'm going to go to the grocery store up. Again, click and drag to select. Go to edit and choose cut. Click where I want it to go. So I want it to be the 3rd item on my list. So I'll click just before the W and work from home. Go to edit and choose paste. And now go to the grocery store is the 3rd item. All right. Sometimes though, I don't want to remove an item from one place and put it in a different spot. Sometimes I might want to duplicate something. So in this case, I need to feed my dog both in the morning and in the afternoon. So I'm going to make a copy of feed the dog and I'm going to put it at the end of my list as the last thing on my to-do list. So the procedure is the same. It's still that 3-step procedure. Click and drag to select the text. And I'm going to go to edit and choose copy instead. Instead of cut, I'm going to choose copy. It doesn't look like it did anything because I'm making a copy of it. I don't want to take it out of it. It still needs to happen first, but it also needs to happen somewhere else. Now I don't have a 7th item in my list, so I'm going to have to click at the end of my last item and hit enter to give me that extra space. And then I'm going to edit and choose paste, and it pastes it in there. And it actually had an extra enter at the end, so it puts a space 8, so I can just backspace over that to delete that. So that's copy and paste. The procedure is the same, except you use copy instead of cut. So again, remember the procedure is click and drag to select the item. Go to Edit and choose Cut or Copy, depending on if you want to take it out of where it is or if you want to make a duplicate. Click where you want it to go and go to Edit and choose Paste, and it will paste it in there. Oh, my dog is going to get fed an awful lot. She's going to be very excited. So create your own to-do list. You can pick numbers or bullets. You should practice going back and forth between the two. And then practice using cut and paste and copy and paste to rearrange your to-do list. Add a heading and maybe add some formatting, and then answer the questions that I have in the Google Classroom assignment and turn in this assignment to me. Thanks and have a good day.